What's going on, everybody? It's BC9 for XYZ here, and welcome back, everybody, to Agatha Christie, the ABC Murders. We are going to continue onward. We are searching what we believe to be the criminal's room.
ABC guys, enough to sign about a dozen murders.
Shit.
It's closed. ABC. It's closed.
Oh, can I, like...
This knife is very useful. Who knows? Maybe it never cut anything other than string. Stockings. The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance. All the main articles referring to the ABC case are here, from the Churston murder onwards. Nothing before that date.
Interesting.
Trousers, white shirts, everything has been washed very well. The Bexhill Daily paper, dated from the day of the Bexhill murder. Most probably the bathing dress repaired by Mrs. Marbury's expert hands.
When was Cust at the time?
The register shows that Cust did not sleep at the guest house on the day of the murder. Where was he? Bexhill. The Bexhill paper reveals it. Cust bought this newspaper in Bexhill on July the 25th.
Interesting. Is there anything else I need to see in this room? Besides more ego points. There's one thing up here.
War of 1914-1918. By the King's order, the name of Corporal A.B. Cust, Devonshire Regiment, was published on the London Gazette on May the 10th, 1918, as mentioned in a dispatch for gallant and distinguished service. An army dispatch, wounded on the Somme front, victim of a gas attack. Corporal Cust greatly deserves his distinction. It is not the right time.
What's left?
This dark stain. It could be blood, but goodness knows how long it has been there.
How in the world would I have seen that?
No use continuing the inspection of this room. I've seen all there is to see.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mrs. Marbury. Thank you for your help.
I look forward to seeing you again, Mr. Poirot.
Ah, Chief Inspector. I was about to leave.
Good evening, Chief Inspector. Welcome. Please excuse me, I must go to the kitchen. I'll leave the key of Mr. Cust on the counter.
I'm sorry I'm late. I've spent ages with the Doncaster police. And you?
I have established one fact. On 3 occasions, Cust was at the scene on the day of the crimes.
Fascinating.
I had best talk to Jab.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Cust guilty? Good question. Very likely answer is yes. Cust was in all of the towns, yeah. Are there any common points between Cust and the killer? Could have committed the crimes. Is Cust's behavior suspicious? Yes, he had blood on him. Lied about his destinations, and he keeps the newspapers. He's guilty.
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABCs in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis. The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes, yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can we talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury has confirmed this.
He may have done the murders in an altered state.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a murder without wanting to.
Très intéressant. I shall remember that.
Right. I'll go and examine the suspect's room.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to examinatum.
All right, we'll discuss them tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to see if you've missed something.
Okay.
To Scotland Yard, please.
Cool. Hello. First, let's observe him.
This man is not in good shape. He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
What do you want from me?
Good day, ABC. Do you know who I am?
Someone who's got it in for me.
I am Hercule Poirot, and I want nothing other than the truth.
Ah, you're the detective.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Maybe you forgot that you wrote these letters.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes I forget. Maybe I did type them.
I do not believe that you are capable of murder, Mr. Cust.
I hope not.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
PTSD.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
But you killed him, as well as 2 other people.
That's what they all say.
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
Hello, glitches. How are you? Jesus, this man is not in good shape.
Poor man. If only I could help him. Take this. It will help you.
Thank you. Oh, good God, my shirt is covered in blood again.
Bon. I now know where the bloodstains Mrs. Marbury saw came from. Are you well enough to speak?
Yes, I feel much better.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards. So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember. Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
Whoa. This guy's having a weird time.
Take this. It will help you.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Jesus, this man is unhealthy.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed these murders?
Yes, I know.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you committed them.
No, I don't.
Let us leave Cust alone. He's at the end of his tether.
Well, here's that's it. We just
And
got a confession.
what conclusions have you drawn?
Plenty. It might help us to understand him a little better. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Interesting. This might be the last video then. There we go. Cust is mentally and physically weak, not ready to profile our killer. Profile of our killer. Is there any clues that do not support Cust's guilt in the Churston murder? Come on. Not that one. Not that one. You'd think it'd be this with something else, but I guess not. I don't know why I did that. There we go. Not support Cust's guilt. He had no reason to kill them. There we go. Can we say without a shadow of doubt that Cust is guilty? He had no reason to kill them, and he did not write the letters. He's not guilty. Interesting. Fascinating.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters, then with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady.
Because deep down he believes himself guilty. From the papers, he noticed that he had always been at the scene of the crimes. He must think that he killed and then simply forgot what he had done.
How can you be so sure?
Let us look at his psychological profile. You will understand my point of view.
Oh,
Let us
fascinating.
now try and get our brain cells to work.
Is Cust clever? There we go. Easy to influence, okay. Is he a seducer? No. He does not like trains.
You see? Cust's character is quite the opposite of the murderer's.
But if he's a madman, can we really talk about his character?
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual repetition in the choice of victims.
Very well, you're right as always. So we have no confession, no culprit, no suspects, nothing. And all that after 2 months of inquiry? What should I do?
Have faith. Just give me 24 hours.
Poirot's probably like, fuck. Go home. Sounds good.
To White Heaven, please.
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except maybe one or two details.
Details. Ah, mon ami. The devil is in the detail, as we say.
Excuse me?
Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But Poirot, what are you afraid of?
Trust me. It is important you carry a weapon for this meeting. I will lend you mine.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring you my weapon.
What? You fucking serious? Come on.
Ah, some...
I was gonna say, I don't even know where the revolver is. What? What is going on?
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets. The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have time to choose real bullets. The revolver is loaded with real bullets. I still have time to choose blanks.
I don't know what just happened. Oh dear.
What about telling me what you have in mind?
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play. Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used, it is almost new.
Alright, let's answer the telephone.
Chief Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry, but we haven't found anything.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've only found prints left by Cust and his landlady.
Well, never mind, I shall make do.
So, are you still going to hold your meeting?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guest coming up the stairs.
Why have you brought us here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cust's arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Gray formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did he challenge me, Hercule Poirot?
Perhaps he wanted to play with you, to taunt you.
Xenophobia? Maybe he didn't like you because you're foreign.
I may be wrong, but maybe by provoking you, he was looking for glory?
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
There's some weird glitches happening right now at the end. Okay. Not sure about this one. That's annoying. It didn't even tell me. There we go. Jeez. The mistake was intentional. Interesting. Why did the killer send the letters to Hercule Poirot? Oh, interesting.
Is everything clear now?
No.
You might like to explain your reasoning again.
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a rule to always post his letter before the murder. He never digressed from that rule. However, in Churston, he encountered a problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants. With advance warning, it would be easy to arrest him. Therefore, the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
Absolument. It is a very subtle plan. It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of a psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clark, the answer to your question is in the medical records of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
What do we know about Cust? So this little video is going to go a little bit longer. I want to end this here. What do we know about Cust? Okay, Cust was mentally fragile and easy to manipulate. Presence at the state of the crime scenes.
Dr. Clark's patient's records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What sort of killer could have such a plan? And what would he gain from 3 completely different murders?
Indeed, it seems unlikely that the same murderer committed all the crimes. What should we take from that? Just one murder was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at 2 potential culprits.
Franklin Clark.
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle, that's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out of jealousy. Mr. Clark may have killed his brother in order to inherit his large fortune. Both have a motive.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clark's records.
Please allow me to disagree with you, mademoiselle. Donald, too, has been treated by the doctor.
You're quite wrong, Mr. Poirot, and it shouldn't be difficult to prove.
Oui, please excuse me. It was a slip of the tongue. This is what I wanted to say. Donald, Sir Carmichael was one of your firm's customers. We found a surveyor's report among his papers that proves it.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it. And you may have used the opportunity to take a look at Sir Carmichael's records.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clark?
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive. The question is, which of you has the profile that most resembles the murderer? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Yikes. Is Donald clever? Yes. Oh dear. Shit, Donald's not looking very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument, Mr. Clark. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
So Donald isn't... It's not good for Donald. Alright. Why did it do that? I didn't press the other button. He wrote a book about trains. Does Frank is impulsive? Oh shit, he's got every...
As you have all seen, there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clark's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
Mr. Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly. Because you are incapable of waiting.
Really? Well, I am no murderer. You presented him as being a cold and patient schemer.
Certes, normalement. But Lady Clark's imminent death precipitated events. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clark's death. For you, Mr. Clark, it was a disaster. If Miss Grey had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So you hurried home from China, and you took action. In truth, Cust was no more than a puppet manipulated by the real culprit. You, Mr. Clark.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter. We know that for sure.
Oh no. You know perfectly well that is not true. Eh bien voilà, light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious, but you haven't any proof.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff. One thing proves it. A carton of placed cigarettes you stole from Mrs. Asher and found at your home.
You have nothing on me. You're bluffing, Mr. Poirot. Come on, Thora, there's nothing for us to do here.
Don't touch me.
Thora!
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter, and why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
All right. Well played. I lose. The game's up. Don't come near me! I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot! Took the law into his own hands.
He had no right. He should have paid for his crimes. I should have expected what he did.
Come on, Poirot. Everybody makes mistakes.
Exactly. Hastings, if one day I sound pretentious, please whisper these 3 letters in my ear. ABC. They shall remind me that we all have our limits, even me.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to become Lady Clark, Thora Grey left England. Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clark. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clark has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent, the incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money by selling his story to the press. And as for me, and with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
Interesting. So there's obviously some different choices I could have made at the end there. I didn't think that he would, grab Hastings' gun, but whatever. But anyway, guys, that's it for the ABC Murders. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. It was a fascinating point-and-click game. But hopefully there's going to be another Agatha Christie game sometime, maybe from Microids or something, because they did a really good job with this one, so... Microids, if you're listening or watching this walkthrough, make more of these games. This Agatha Christie games. I mean, they're or some kind of detective games, because you did a great job. All right, guys. So that's it for me for this walkthrough. Hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough, and take care, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next gameplay walkthrough. Take care, guys. Thanks so much.